Hello learners, welcome to our Global Citizen lesson, Year 2, Term 2, Unit 4. The topic is about the River Nile. We are going to use Students' Book, page 74 and 75, Building Skills Activity Book, page 55. Here, let's look at our learning objective. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to know the longest river in Africa and in the world. Know where is the source of the River Nile. Know why did the Egyptians live by the Nile. Before we look at the River Nile, let's remind ourselves what we learned about in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we talked about the river are important, and we say that river provide us with food, energy, recreation, transportation, routes, and water for plants and drinking. Also, we saw that rivers are important for farmers because farmers use water to irrigate their crops. And also we get food from the river like fish. Let's move to our lesson today. And I said we are going to talk about River Nile. We are going to talk about the River Nile. In this picture, we can see the picture of the River Nile. We can see the buildings. We can see there are some animals, also ships inside the River Nile. What is River Nile? The River Nile is the longest river in Africa and in the world. It's about 4,000 miles long. The River Nile is the longest river in the world and in Africa. It is about 4,000 miles long. River Nile, we have a picture of River Nile here. So we can see we have Egypt, we have River Nile here, we have Mediterranean Sea. Let's see where is River Nile. The River Nile is in Africa. It flows through Egypt and finally drains in the Mediterranean Sea. So we have the Mediterranean Sea here. It flows through Egypt. So we have River Nile here and we have Egypt to Mediterranean Sea. Egypt is an Arab country. The Nile enters Egypt from Sudan, which is an Arab country too. So the River Nile enters Egypt from Sudan, which is an Arab country too. We are going to look at the main river that flow into the River Nile. We are going to look at the two main rivers that flows into the River Nile. So we can see the River Nile is formed from the White Nile and the Blue Nile. It's formed from the White Nile and Blue Nile. Also, the River Nile has source. So Lake Victoria, which is the Africa's biggest lake, is generally thought to be the main source of the River Nile. Lake Victoria, which is Africa's biggest lake, is generally thought to be the main source of River Nile. In this slide, we have seen that the two main river that flows into River Nile is White Nile and Blue Nile. And the source of River Nile is Lake Victoria, which is the biggest lake in Africa. It's the biggest lake in Africa. Let's proceed. We are going to look at importance of River Nile to Egyptian. We are going to look at importance of River Nile to Egyptian. So the River Nile is important to Egypt because it provides fish, game, fruits, transportation, building materials, and water in all areas surrounded by the desert. So here we can see that Egypt is surrounded by desert. So River Nile is very important to them because it provides water, fish, which is food, game, that is recreation, fruits, transportation, and building material. So they can get building material from the river. So they use the building to build their houses, to build roads. Let's go ahead. The dry sand desert both east and west of Nile provide protection from their enemies, allow the people to enjoy a peaceful life along the river. So there's a dry sandy desert both east and west of the River Nile that provide protection from their enemies, allow the people to enjoy a peaceful life along the river. Let's move ahead. Here we have some pictures, and these pictures you are looking at living along the river bank. Living along river banks. Egyptians grew their crops along the banks of the river Nile. People would go fishing for food or extra money. So people, they plant their crops along the river. Also they fish for food, and also they sell fish for extra money. If they need money, they go to the river, they get fish, they sell to get extra money. So also in the River Nile, there are animals that live in River Nile. That is another importance of River Nile. There are animals that live in the river or around the river. Many different types of animals, birds and fish, all call the River Nile home. Many different types of animals, birds and fish, all call the Nile River home. Animals such as crocodile, rhinos, birds, turtle, lizard, snakes, fish, and hippos. As we can see in this picture, we have some animals that call River Nile home, or they live around the river. We have the hippopotamus, crocodile, the Nile monitor, the Nile perch, the soft-shell turtle. So these are animals that live around or live in River Nile. So as you can see, River Nile is very important to people in Egypt. River Nile is very, very important to people in Egypt. It provides food, that is fish. Also, farmers plant their crops along River Nile. River Nile also is important for animals. Animals live in River Nile and around River Nile. We have an activity to do in activity book page 55. Here you are going to talk about Nile, location, main source, flows into, formed of, This is the activity I want you to do as assignment. We have page 55 and 50. 55 and 56 do as an assignment. We will review together when we get back online. So remember, the Nile River is the longest river in the world. The Nile flows into the Mediterranean Sea. The largest source of the Nile is Lake Victoria. I wish you all the best. Have a nice day. Thank you.